Hello, 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 everyone. This is Barbara Moore for Catch Your Breath 60, and we are from Southern Ontario, Canada. It is October the 3rd, 2023, and the weather outside feels like a humid July day. It's absolutely crazy. I had the respiratory guy come in and say that he could barely stand the humidity himself, and there's nothing wrong with him. He said, "Don't go out." So there you go. Hi, Diana. Is this your first time here? Letta, thank you so much for sharing my tea time information. I really appreciate it. I don't think I say it to you enough. But I really appreciate you sharing that on Tuesdays or whenever I put it up. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Janice. How are you, Janice? Hi, Norma. Annie. How's everybody today? We have warm weather. New Zealand. Oh, well, you're here today, Diana. Good afternoon, Kathleen. Kathleen, we should have a talk about arthritis. Oh, wow. Anyways, very warm day today. Very warm, feeling like the middle of July with high humidity. So that's the only problem with having the heat so high is that the humidity usually follows it. At least it does here. Southern Ontario is surrounded by 5 Great Lakes, so we have a lot of moisture. And Hamilton's just off the bay, the Burlington Bay, so we have lots. So I hope everybody's had a good week. We have said goodbye to September and on to October with all this pumpkin spice and scary, spooky stuff. My grandson is a Halloween fanatic. He absolutely loves being scared of having his pants off. It scares his pants off every time he sees it, and he goes back and says, "Granny, can we watch it again?" So the best time of the year is coming because, after we all know what happens after Halloween. And so it's kind of a give me, right? But that's okay because he can do what he wants. He will go with his friends to go out for Halloween, and then he will come and see his granny, and then he'll go to bed, go to school for the morning. Hi, Beverly. So today we're going to talk about surviving my symptoms, not my symptoms, surviving your symptoms. Wondering how we will survive the symptoms of our chronic illness. We often think that the day we got diagnosed was the worst day of our lives, when in fact, it's not true. I'm sure by now you know that you have had many days that were worse. The worst day of our lives comes later, days, months, or years later, because when our symptoms become more frequent and more progressive, we will know that our worst day hasn't happened yet. Which symptom is the worst symptom? If I was comparing symptoms 3 months ago, I would definitely have said shortness of breath. But today it is pain. And pain wins because I am currently in a flare up with my rheumatoid arthritis, and pain is the major symptom that I have today. Actually, this is the first day that it's kind of eased up a little bit, and it's not pounding so much. So I'm hoping that this is on the way to being better. Uh, I have a fairly high pain tolerance, but this is excruciating pain. This is like pain like I've never felt before. I don't think you could live with this much pain. But I digress. Maybe I should have said stress and anxiety because they're pretty big ones too. But since I wasn't in a flare with anxiety and stress, it wasn't at the top of my list, but pain is. So today my worst symptom is still pain. It's funny when we're going through a COPD flare, we think that nothing could be worse. But I'm telling you, guess what? Things can be worse. My symptoms, regardless of what they are, keep me up at night. It's been a long time since I've slept through the night, and even longer since I've woke up refreshed. I used to relive my worst moments over and over again while I was trying to go to sleep. Or I would wake up in the middle of the night at around 3 o'clock and I couldn't get back to sleep, and all I could think about was these horrible times that I went through. I'd wake up and feel hands on me, even though I couldn't remember any of what happened at that time. I relived it over and over and over again. Paramedics were performing CPR in an attempt to save my life. In front of my family, I lay bare, my clothing cut away. CPR is performed in a highly energized atmosphere. CPR actually hurts, and it hurts for many days after. I was lucky enough not to have a rib broken, but I got to tell you, that muscle pain that you feel, even though we think we can't get through it and that it's unbearable and that it's going to kill you, you in fact do live to see another day. When I began studying mindfulness, I always looked at it from the vantage point of somebody who suffered. And the lesson was always, how do we get from one day to the next? It isn't always easy. And in fact, most days I have to dig deep to find the courage. But it makes it a little bit easier too, to just deal with it one day, one exacerbation at a time. Looking down the road at what's ahead isn't always easy because we know that what's coming is going to be worse than what's gone. Even though we think we won't actually survive, and we will see another day. Instead of asking yourself to take it all at once, try taking it in small chunks. And ask yourself if you could survive it just for this moment. Just this one time, for this one moment. When we forecast our future with doom and gloom, we are clinging to living the fun, to reliving the fun from the past. But we don't live in the past. The past is gone and we can't get it back again. And we don't live in the future. The future has not shown itself to us yet. We live in the present, in this very moment. And I got to tell you that since I've been practicing mindfulness uh, on purpose with intent, I've got to tell you that I have more memories now that I had for a long, long time. You know, our lives were busy. I had a lot going on. A lot of people depended on me. And when you're whipping around from one place to the next, you're doing this and doing that and doing the other thing. You know, it's really hard to concentrate on one moment. So, this concept I know is hard for people to do. I know it was very hard for me. It took me years to understand what what it meant, basically, to be living in that moment. Now it's as wonderful as you think it is. It just is the present, and that is where we live. Let's do some meditation. Make sure that you're sitting with your back straight, either leaning against a chair or sitting upright in a stool. Everything we do with COPD is so much easier if we're sitting. First thing I do when I'm assigned a task is find the chair, find the first chair. I hear you, hippie girl. That's the way it is. We all know that's going to happen, whether you have chronic illness or not. We're all going to die eventually. It's how we get there um, that matters. So sit with your back straight up. Remember to lower your shoulders. Keep them lowered. When you have your shoulders hunched up, when you have your shoulders hunched up like this, you are using those muscles for breathing, and they're very inefficient muscles. So try not to do that. Try and keep your shoulders down. Sit with your back straight and lower your shoulders. Place your hands on your lap, palms up. That helps to open the rib cage, right? To open your lungs. We're going to be concentrating on our breath. When we do pursed lip breathing, we need to breathe out with some power behind it. So if you were watching my show the other day or my page the other day, I had a thing up there from a respiratory therapist who said, when you breathe in through your nose, and when you breathe out, you should be able to move the Kleenex. We don't have a lot of breath, and so I'm not surprised that he would be able to do it much more efficient than we will. But I hope that kind of answers your question about pursed lips and how you have to exhale the extra air. Practicing now will help you make it a habit. Inhale through your nose and take a breath deep into your belly. Hold it for a few seconds and exhale through pursed lips with some force. When you get into trouble and you cannot catch your breath, invite this to be the habit to become your go-to. Inhale through your nose, deep into your belly. Hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 7. Begin to breathe using pursed lips. Inhale through your nose. Take a deep breath into your belly and hold it for 2 seconds. Exhale through pursed lips for longer than you inhaled. So if your inhale is 2, you should be exhaling for 4. Stay in the moment and concentrate on your breath. There's a couple of ways that I do this. I will concentrate on my breath by turning the TV on. As soon as I hear the voices in the background, I know it seems like there's somebody here and there's lots of people around and everything. It allows me to get my mind off of my shortness of breath and allows me to keep a better rhythm, if you will. We are slowing our breathing pattern so we can breathe more efficiently. That's why we're not using these muscles up here. We are breathing in through our nose to take the breath down to our diaphragm and then exhale it through pursed lips. Remember that if you hold it for 2, you exhale for 4. If you hold it for 5, you exhale for 10. Each breath has more meaning than the last. Inhale through your nose and take a deep breath into your belly. Hold for 4 seconds and exhale for 8. Notice how relaxed and calm you are. Inhale through your nose and take a deep breath into your belly. Hold it for 5 seconds and exhale through pursed lips for 10. Thank you, everyone who came today. Feel free to like and share and make sure that you have subscribed to my page. It really helps get things going. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you again next week.